Now to a growing controversy at Texas A&M University that has made national headlines. The dispute began after a student challenged a professor who discussed gender identity as part of a class on children's literature. Republican State Representative Brian Harrison has sharply criticized the university and how it's handled the situation on X. He has posted videos the students secretly recorded in the children's literature class. At first, University President Mark Welsh removed the dean and department head from their administrative positions because the course content was not consistent with what was published in the course catalog's description. On X, Governor Abbott said, quote, "Good, now fire the professor who acted contrary to Texas law." Welsh then fired the professor, Melissa McCool, who has appealed her termination and hired an attorney, saying she was never told to change her course content. The governor announced the professor's firing on X. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick also weighed in on X, criticizing the university president, saying most parents, students, and alumni expect Texas A&M to reflect the values of the state and nation. Quote, "If President Welsh will not or cannot reflect those values, then change needs to happen." The Texas A&M University System Chancellor Glenn Hager issued a statement on X saying, quote, "I commend President Welsh on the action he has taken to terminate a faculty member." We spoke with Representative Harrison about this issue.
And I got to tell you and commend this student who I have spoken to recently, to commend her and her courage. Who had the foresight to video this professor forcing the students to memorize, and I'm not making this up, the gender unicorn, which is something that propagandizes extreme transgender ideology. Not just to record that, but to secretly record her engagements with the president of Texas A&M University, a former Barack Obama appointee, and somebody for which she was in a significant power imbalance. To be able to maintain the poise and professionalism, even when the president of the Texas A&M University was berating her.
And nowhere in the course description was there anything about gender identity being discussed as part of the curriculum.
That's
right?
what the university is hanging its hat on. It's unclear to me if that's true because I've read the syllabus. I have the entire syllabus. The student told the president of Texas A&M University, she used the word discrimination. She told him almost a month ago that she had been discriminated against, which is a violation of her constitutional rights. And the president of the university made it out to be her problem. He mocked her and literally said, "What do you want me to do, fire her?" And when she said yes, he dismissed her and said, "Well, that's not happening."
And why do you think that this was a violation of the student's constitutional rights?
She was discriminated against on the basis of her conservative beliefs, and her First Amendment free speech rights were absolutely violated. She was singled out of in this class for public humiliation. She was ejected from the classroom. She was ordered to leave by the government officials. This wasn't a private actor. This was the government and official acting on behalf of the government of the state of Texas. Ejected her from a class and told her she was not welcome to return. In order to protect the professor and keep the indoctrination going, they tried to convince the student to never go back to the class. And if she just would never go back, they would give her an arbitrary grade that she could have for the course, denying her the education that she had paid for and allowing Texas A&M to sweep this whole problem under the rug.
The governor said the professor violated Texas law, but Senate Bill 17, signed into law in 2023, does not apply to academic course instruction, scholarly research, or activities by student organizations registered with universities and colleges. We asked Representative Harrison about that.
Not only does SB 17 not ban all DEI in public universities in the state of Texas, SB 17 explicitly authorizes, it explicitly sanctions taxpayer-funded DEI in every classroom, in every public university in the state of Texas, including anything that could even possibly be construed to be in the furtherance of any kind of academic goal or research goal or curriculum or instructions. All of that has not only not been banned by Texas law, Texas law has sanctioned it.
So the university didn't do anything wrong then, did it?
Well, the university did a lot wrong. The university is governed by a president. The president has a boss who's called a chancellor, and the chancellor has bosses who are called regents. Every regent is appointed by the governor of the state of Texas. They are his political appointees. And let me tell you something. To you regents, okay, you leaders in any public university in the state of Texas, You don't need the legislature to tell you to not spend my constituents' hard-earned money to indoctrinate the next generation. So they did something that is wrong, immoral, and unethical.
We also spoke with Democratic State Representative Venton Jones of Dallas, a member of the legislature's LGBTQ caucus, who pushed back.
It's disappointing once again that we are here navigating a conversation about Texas A&M, my alma mater, and perpetuating a conservative political agenda in our public institutions. And so this is yet another example of that taking place, to where this did not come from just the campus community. We had a lawmaker implementing a political agenda to be able to get this individual fired. They did not break any laws. How many of our academic institutions and the individuals there to coming to teach and to learn there have to be attacked just to perpetuate a conservative political agenda and indoctrination? I think the student had an opportunity to voice their opposition, and that's exactly what they did. And the faculty had an opportunity to say and said that they were exercising their rights to academic freedom. But once you become a disruption to class, anyone should be removed from the class for that reason. The only law that's in place is the removal of departments of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is also ridiculous. But there were concerns that were expressed on the House floor by many members, including myself, that this would happen, that there would never be enough.
On this video, you hear the student challenging the professor, and she said, you know, this violates President Trump's executive order about just two genders, you know, the topic of the curriculum of the class that the professor was bringing up. What do you say to that?
Well, the president has the ability to express and create any executive order that they choose to implement. What's happening with this is that this executive order is being used to perpetuate hatred. Based on the executive order, what prevents this professor from being able to raise issues up regarding LGBTQ individuals in their coursework? And so what I see is an ongoing attack to remove the very presence of LGBTQ people everywhere in our state, in our bathrooms, in our schools, and to just disappear in silence. And that is absolutely unacceptable, because when I look at my experiences at Texas A&M, I experienced things from every spectrum, and that's what really gave me a full rounded education. I would be fearful right now to go to Texas A&M. I would not send my children to Texas A&M University, and many Texans have expressed that concern, not only with Texas A&M University, but with all of our state schools.
You've written a letter to the president of Texas A&M University, and you have other Democratic lawmakers sign this. What's your message to the president?
I think that the president must have messaging that's not just from conservative members, and I'm not doing this for political reasons. I'm doing this as a former student of Texas A&M University who continues during my legislative tenure to see attacks on that very university.
We have requested an interview with both the university president, Mark Welsh, and with the university system chancellor, Glenn Hager. Texas A&M University and all of its universities in the system will now conduct audits of all of their course offerings.